Day 11 of 14 days of Valentine Day card challenge. So yesterday I made this sweet little card, fairly simple. This is actually the dress of one of the papers where I tore the girl in half. And this is her dress, but to me it looked like a Bible, and I like the front of it. And then on the inside I created a little journal card and did some stenciling on the back and put down, above all, love each other deeply, 1 Peter 4:8. And did some quick stenciling just for some additional color. I'm planning on giving my cards to my friends at different Bible studies and letting them fill them out and give them to whoever they want. So most of my cards are empty on the inside. Hi, my name is Rhonda and welcome to the Paper Garden here at a little creative corner of Grace and Grains. And this is my mise en place for today, day 11. And this is the card we'll be doing today. A little bit of collage work with the belly band and then an element on top, and then we'll be adding a surprise element that you'll see at the end. So I'm going to go ahead and start on this one. So I take my basic card. I don't think I'd ever pass out this birthday card, but I like to cover it up like this. So I know this is the front of the card. What I've been doing, because I've learned that I've been doing my cards upside down sometimes, that I corner off my edges, so whether I use it this way or this way, I know this is going to be the opening side of my card. And then I do like to edge off my corners also, just for a little bit of a rounded effect. I like that softer look to it. And I like to come into my office early in the morning and use my vacuum and vacuum up all these little pieces that fall all over the floor. What a mess. Oh, and what do paper clips have to do with today? Well, we'll get that a little bit later. Let's go ahead and show you now. So I said yesterday that, they're not paper clips, clothespins, is I create and I hold my stock together with little clothespins. And so I create these. I do about 4 at a time because I do all my storage of my paperwork and supplies by season. And of course this would be a spring season, but because I've accumulated so much of Valentine's, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to create some Valentine Day clothespins. So I've already glued down that side, and I will put this on now and let it sit here and dry while we create the card. So this is some 3-in-1 glue. Just gives a little bit more of a stickiness to it to adhere the paper. And I'll just put that on, and it's a little heavy so that way it'll smush down while it's drying. And then to make sure I'm on the right color angle, I'm going to just lay this on top like that. So it's like a little sandwich. You can see the sandwich of how that's placed in together. So those are going to sit and dry while we go on to our card. So I'm using this paperwork. This is the digital kit from Creating with Jovi, who is the host of today's, this whole episode. Created by Jovi, created a couple of kits that she offered us. And this one is actually called Victorian Valentines. It has these beautiful red shades to it, and I'm going to pull this white border off just to eliminate it so I don't have to work with that. And then I'm going to create a horizontal collage work. And the way I like to do it is I use my tear ruler. So this just something very inexpensive I got off at Temu. I just started using Temu quite often. It's kind of fun. They're so quick with all their emails though, so I've learned to go in, place my little order, and then just sit back and wait for it to show up a couple weeks later and not look at all the emails because it'll drive you crazy. So as you can see, I'm just taking a couple pieces at a time and eyeballing it. They're about a 1/2 inch a piece, all the way down to the end. And we will just pull this off. And then I'm going to use some Tim Holtz Vintage Photo Distressed Oxide. And we will distress the tops of these and give it a little bit more color. I actually come from the world of art journals. In fact, however, I just started that in August also. And so this was quite a step for me to go in and do cards, but it was kind of nice. I had quite a bit of time. Jovi was able to offer us her digital kits well in advance, and I took the time to create all of my cards up front because I'm a planner. I like to know what I'm doing and when I'm doing it, and hopefully follow through on that. And there's a lot of things that I can do that I create maybe during the day, and then when I watch TV at night, when it's quiet in the house, I can just put these all together and enjoy the moment of the solitude and enjoy the time of just ripping paper. I'm in this collaboration with a handful of other creators. It's really nice to do it like that because not only am I learning their techniques and their YouTubes and all about them, but I'm actually, I have new friends, and I really like that in this new world of YouTube. I retired about a year ago, and so, when you work for someplace so long, you have your friends that way, but not only did I retire, but then I moved about an hour away, so I'm not really close to where I was before. Let's see, and these I could either put down this way or I can put this way. I'm gonna go this way. Whoop, one more. So I do enjoy their friendship. One of them is Katie over I Like to Cut and Paste. Great name of a YouTube because I too like to cut and paste. Just take the piece of paper here. And we'll just use this to glue on. I love that red. Red was always my favorite color, but if you ever saw a picture of me, I actually, a few years ago, let my hair go gray. And so red is almost a little bit too dark for me, but I periodically still wear it. Of course, you pretty much always see me in black also. And I always joke, I'd wear a different color if it came any darker. But black's pretty much it. This is kind of fun doing it this way because you just get to put it wherever you want, however you want. And I like the mix and match so you're not really following the same color. If there's any pieces sticking up, just glue that down. And I think I can get one more at the top. I'm also in the group with my 60s life, and she shares quite a few things, not just in the art world, but she's got a little bit of extra stuff on her page. Sassy Southern NC Girl is Jen, and then there's Marianne's Craft Corner. So there's a combination of a few of us, and we all have something different to share, which is a really nice variety of collaborators to get an idea of cards. See, I don't even cut these off. I just like to go in and rip them. This part I'll cut off. Here we go. Card's still open. Let me just double check this. That looks good. And then we'll go through and we will just edge this bottom also. Actually, this may end up being one of my favorite cards. I don't know why, I just love this look. I try to go into a different craft. My husband says, just pick one, just do something. Because my crafting was always food or something in the kitchen. But this past year, I also just lost, I think I'm close to 70 pounds now. And so food just isn't my issue anymore. but the garden is. So we have a really large garden, and I go out and do that during the summer, but since we're at like 8 inches of snow right now, we're not doing that right now. All right, so I'm going to create a belly band using this adorable little cherub, and I need it the full length of this paper. So let me just pull this paper out. And I'd like to keep that whole cherub. So let's see, what can I do? Looks like he's gonna lose his legs. Sorry, buddy. We're gonna take the little bit of the cherub out. Some of the tricks I'm trying to remember with myself is my right hand towards me. That's what gives me that white border. There we go. And there's all these little tricks you have to remember when you do this type of work. I'll just carve him out there. That's better. Pull this off too. And that's it of the other collaborators. It's been fun. It's been really fun working with them, and it's been quite an honor. And I really appreciate Jovi having me as part of her design team. I'm always looking forward to the next thing that I'll be doing. Kind of working on the next thing for myself. I'll be doing some stuff in my garden this year, and I'm planning on doing, I like doing digital work, or not digital work. I'll never make these type of creations. That's why I've got people like Jovi to do it. Let her do it. She has that talent. I like to stick and paste. But I'm going to be sharing a lot of my garden ideas as my garden grows. So in March, I'm going to do one. My main page is actually called Grace and Grains, which is weaving the Word of God in my garden and my heart. Hearts are my favorite. Hence, right here I have a tattoo. Always keep Jesus in your heart. A tattoo that I got many years ago, and my mom came with me, and I think she had just turned 80 or 85. She goes, I want one. I'm like, really? So my mom and I have matching heart tattoos. But I wanted to put this here on the front. We'll use this glue because it's got more spunk to it. We'll put that right there. And then the special touch I have for this, and I haven't even done this yet, is a piece of candy. So in my belly band, I can just stick this piece of candy, because what goes better with roses than chocolate? So now I have a nice Valentine's Day card with a piece of chocolate, and I can pass that on to one of my friends. I plan on getting like sleeves to drop these into, because I think they may be too fat for their envelopes. But I'm going to work on that tomorrow, and I'll have an update on my next video with that. But meanwhile, let's talk about the suspense of what's going on with the clothespins. You can see I've already made a couple of these, so I have this kind of down pat what to do. Actually, I just made ribs today, and this is how you cut up a rack of ribs. Just go in there and right between the bones, cut that up. And if you want to, you can go ahead and put your little vintage color on it, or whichever color you prefer. This would probably be even cute with some pink. Another thing I do is I take a emery board, and I can go down on the sides too to get a nice smooth edge with that paper. So that way when I put my artwork together, or my pieces together of what I'm going to work on, I just close it all in with a Q-tip, and it's so easy to find everything. I have it all stacked up. So I've got, there's one. See how easy these are? Well, I do appreciate you being here today. I really enjoy your commitment to watching my whole YouTube, since this is at the very end. And thank you for visiting the paper garden here, part of Grace and Grains. Again, I will link all my collaborators and Creating by Jovi in the description below. And until then, may you be rooted in love and grow in grace.